we'll have a win-win-win for the three nations. And I think this will be indicative why we need more of this, because trade is going to continue to grow. Also on behalf of our both senators that are represented here, we have Anna, of course, on behalf of Senator Cornyn, of course, Madison, who's the border coordinator for the Senator Cornyn also, and Ms. Garcia Mead also, Cassandra, on behalf of Senator Cruz. Always a pleasure being with all of y'all, making sure that we work in a bipartisan way. And of course, the city of Laredo, the mayor and Horacio and all the folks that work here in the city to make sure it works. The reason we're here, we've got the private sector. Pat, it's always a pleasure. Last time we were in my office, you had just given your presentation to the Trade Commission on why NAFTA is important. I think you had also had fun testifying before Congress also. Probably not as many, 24 times for Mr. Wagner over here. That's probably a record. But it's important to make sure that Washington and the DF understand why trade is very key to our area. Why are we here? You know, we're here because there's a need in the private sector, along with the government on both sides. The federal and local government have gone together. You know, one of the most important things that we face here on the border is how do we find that balance between security and legitimate trade, tourism, retail, that's so key to our economy on both sides of the Rio Grande or Rio Bravo. And here today, we're here to thank, of course, our private sector also for the opening. Kansas City, Southern, of course, UP also. Kansas City for donating the building to SAD, and I think UP for allowing it to be stationed on their property, working together to make sure that we are able to do something in a unified way, get rid of the duplication, make it more efficient. And as it was mentioned, Laredo was the first place that have Mexican customs at the airport, first one. And now that we have it at the World Trade Bridge, and now that we're going to have it here, the only city in the country that will have the locations, rail, truck, and of course air, to have this joint operation. Because again, this is really, if you look at this, this is really the future. The old days of saying, we're going to do this on the Mexican side of Maya, and the Americans, Greg, we're going to do this on side, we're going to duplicate things, and we're going to be inefficient. I think those days are gone. And I think what we're seeing here is a new level of cooperation. Forget about what Washington's saying. This is a level of cooperation that's actually working hand in hand with our local government and, of course, with our private sector. And if you look at this, rail plays a very important role on this. And again, Pat, I'm sure you're going to go over the numbers, but there are 50,000 rail jobs that we have, $5.6 billion of wages that we pay, and of course, the large percentage of cargo that passes through the rail and that will increase is important. If this efficiency continues up here, I think you're going to have the largest inlet port for rail, 22 to 26. Well, we can easily double this to maybe 44 or something in the future. So the potential is there. And again, trying to find a balance, as the mayor said, to make sure that what we have is, even as we have more rail, that rail doesn't stop. Those trains don't stop. I think people like David, he said, he's sure as long as people see the rail moving, that is very, very, very key. So if you find the efficiency and you find a secure border, that's good for our economy, and it's good for the Mexican economy to have this. Processes like a secure corridor, processes like an international crew, and I emphasize the international crew because when you use the term international, that means you got to get familiar with the regulations on the U.S. side and on the Mexican side, and make sure that if one person's over here for the Mexican side, that they follow the rules that we have here, or if we have somebody on the Mexican side, make sure that the American follows the rules. And this is why that level of cooperation is very important. So what are we going to get at the end of the day from this cooperation, from this efficiency, from this process? We have increased trade. We're going to reduce congestion. We're going to have faster customs processes. And of course, the enhanced security is good for our side and it's good for the Mexican side. So again, I just want to say that I'm very, very proud of this new level of cooperation, this new model that we have here that has been established here in Laredo, and we're hoping, Mr. Wagner, since you got a whole area to cover along with the commissioner, of course, Kevin, to make sure that they look at Laredo as a model, so this can be duplicated not only on this side, but on the Mexican side also. So again, thank you so much for being here, and again, I'm very proud of the men and women that has made this possible, the government, but especially the private sector. Un placer. Gracias.